The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, well, now 2023 is over and it's done with. It's in our rearview mirror, and we look ahead to the future in 2024. And near the end of last year, I asked about you people out there purchasing me a Texas Chainsaw Massacre pinball machine. And none of you came through with that. Well, I'm going to give you a second chance, a chance to redeem yourself. Because from Stern Pinball, you're going to be getting a official Jaws pinball machine. Now, this looks like it could be really awesome. The trailers for the story of the pinball and the trailer for the pinball machine itself are up on YouTube. Check them out. And I'm asking nicely. So I'm asking nicely. See, I'm saying please, everybody go out and get me the Jaws pinball machine from sternpinball.com. I'm watching the trailer, and I was put off, although slightly intrigued, I must admit, by the fact that some of the sounds that are coming from the movie, they sound good, but they also, I think they brought in Richard Dreyfuss to recreate some scenes or just to add some extra commentary. And admittedly, also, he's starting to sound a little bit like Larry Fine. Now, if you want Larry Fine to be in the next Jaws related item, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So go get me. Yes, thank you. And,
Hi.
look at that. The peanut butter connecting up. Yes, thank you. And with that, I really hope you get in to donate to me funds for me to have this pinball machine. Jaws from Stern Pinball at sternpinball.com. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome to episode 597 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also the lair of lost swag within the Raven Chateau, and Casa de -0. It is 2024, and we're still doing this shit for some reason. For some unknown reason.
God-forsaken reason.
You know what? For old time's sake, it's 2024. You know what? Let's do intros. What do you say?
Oh, shit.
It's probably been 4 years since we did an intro.
Wow.
Let's see if I can still do this. I have the intros written down from years ago. They haven't been touched, so I feel weird reading mine, but I guess I'll just do it anyways. I am Johnny Wolfstein, the vegan vanguard, the Clark Kent of broadcasting, and the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio. We also have the vulgar guru of horror, the star of Blood Pig's Fetus, Morbid Tales, Septic, and one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, and the architect of disrespect, Monster Zero. Finally, we have the chain-smoking, hand-kissing, baby-shaking, lorazepam loving comic book reading nerd, the official smoke chamber for the Lair of Lost Swag, the Pimper Promotions, the Italian rapscallion, the professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor and secretary of the sexy speakeasy, Mr. Runtime, the Duke of Degeneracy, the glorified grip, and the Parisian Bruja himself, Michael Ravenshadow.
Bombaleo, baby.
I didn't stutter too much on that. I'm kind of amazed.
That was good. I was getting tired.
I was tired about fucking 3 titles in.
And to be fair, Wolfie, we'd have to add to our intros, too, because we were both also stars of Septic.
Oh, that's true. Well, I should do it all over again. You guys want me to do the intros over?
Top.
Take them to the top. So there you go. I don't know if people like the intros. Maybe we'll add them back in.
No.
We'll see what the people say, MZ. All right.
Yeah,
We'll leave it up.
Hell with that.
We'll leave it to the people.
Always a big fan of the intros.
Yeah. He's yipping and yapping because he loves it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Intros. Haven't done those in a while, and maybe never again.
The last time.
But you know what? Like as I was reading the copy for the beginning, like I was just like, you know what? This is kind of old. Like I should take some time to update it. Record in front of an undead studio audience. I don't know. Like this doesn't resonate the way it used to.
It could be time. New Year's, new
year, new show.
It sounds dated.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can go back to what was it? Phantasmagorical Spin Kick.
No.
What were some of the others? I don't even want to remember some of the others. Oh, I have it right here. It is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture.
Yep.
Then it says, we destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and have been known to drive women into bliss during shows.
Yes.
So maybe
I'm
not.
going back. I may.
Wow. It feels like 2012 all over again.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Although I did find also, I just have one long document of like all the shit that I've ever had for the show for intros and shit. And so I just happen to scroll through it. But we also have some of our fake movies that we sort of had talked about. There was Hobbit with a Shotgun. That's a fave.
Oh, that was good.
There was Sith Sense.
Yep.
Wolf Cop of Wall Street.
Yep.
This is a favorite. Cannibal Run. I like that.
Cannibal Run was good.
Phantasm 4. Gallagher's Travels. Oh, like Gulliver's, I gotcha. And Willy Wampa. And Scarface, who's a drug dealer who's really into ska music, I think.
Yeah, he likes to fucking do coke while he's skanking.
He's good fucking all over his nose. You know what's funny is I don't even remember Scarface. I remember some of those others, but not Scarface.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't remember
That's
that.
kind of funny.
All right, let's see what we got for chat here. Casual Noob, checking in. First chat of 2024. He says, love pinball games on the modern video game platforms if you want more options. Also, Stern Pinball, among others, have tables on Nintendo Switch. Handheld consoles are the best for pinball.
Nice.
Well, I guess if you can't have the real pinball machine, then that's not bad at all. Yeah, that's having it handheld, I think. One thing I saw.
I'm warning you, Shock.
I'm telling you, listen to in the trailer, and he'll say like, it's Richard Dreyfuss. It sounds like Richard Dreyfuss, but it sounds like Richard Dreyfuss doing a Larry Fine impersonation, and he's saying something like, "Prepare the harpoon." You know?
Wait, where can I find this?
Hey,
I want to play.
That's a weird dolphin, huh?
Is it on YouTube or is it on like Stern Pinball or something?
It's on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I find him for 10 and catch him and kill him.
All right, found Jaws pinball game trailer 8 hours ago. That must be it, right?
Yeah. There's two trailers. Let me just.
Okay,
This is the Jaws pinball game trailer, not the Jaws pinball story trailer.
Okay, it's 1 minute long. Is that the one?
This should be it. Let me just double check.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
Okay, here's the commercial.
Hey, Mo, I got a live one.
Fire the harpoon.
I totally inspire that.
Shoot. Fast fish.
Oh God.
Well, nothing's easy, is it? This shark will eat anything.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're gonna need a bigger pinball machine. We're gonna need a bigger bumper.
So did that sound like Larry Fine or no?
Yes, here it is again. I'm gonna play it one more time.
Yeah. He says like
Fire the
prepare the
harpoon.
Oh,
That sounded just like him. Here it is one more time.
Fire the harpoon.
Oh man, poor Richard Dreyfuss.
can you imagine instead of Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss and oh fuck, what's his name?
Quint.
Yeah, So instead of all those three, you get Mo, Larry, and Curly up going after the show.
That is the pinball machine we need.
Mo would be Quint. And Larry would be Richard Dreyfuss's part, and Curly would be Chief Brody.
Who would be Jaws? Shemp.
Yeah, maybe Shemp. Why not?
Oh,
Prepare
man.
the harpoon.
Yeah, I can't even do it.
Play that part again. I just want to hear it one more time.
All right, one more time.
Especially when he gets to the harpoon, the word harpoon. He sounds like
Yeah.
Larry.
All right, here it is.
Fire the harpoon.
Harpoon. We need to see that. Like, you know what? I would make an exception for AI if we could see that. That would be my one exception. I'd be okay with AI if we would see the Three Stooges in Jaws.
Robert Shaw, that's his name. Robert
Yes,
Shaw. Now,
yes.
oh God, that
And they're
would
all
be-
showing their tattoos off, or they're like scars and their bumps and bruises.
yeah.
You gotta close the beach. I don't do an impression.
What do you mean you got to close the beach?
Oh man.
We're not going to close the beach.
Hey,
Hey,
moron,
it's
close
July.
the beach.
It's a perfect eating machine.
Yes.
I'm warning you.
Oh God.
I listened to this trailer like maybe 5 minutes before we got on the air, and I'm just keeling over in laughter. I'm just laughing so hard. I'm like, oh, give me a fucking break.
Fire
That
the
can't be
harpoon.
real. Play it one more time, please. But give it like another 10 seconds before, because it always seems to cut out just before, and I can't hear it.
All right.
Fire the harpoon.
It's right on the poon, which is funny.
Yeah,
Unto itself.
That's exactly it.
It looks like a pretty impressive pinball machine, though. It's pretty nice.
I'm not sure that's actually Richard Dreyfuss. It's probably Billy West.
Oh, you're probably right. You probably mixed up the voices. Do you know that was Richard Dreyfuss, MZ, or are you just guessing?
I'm assuming it is,
Dude,
because there is other cut in dialogue that definitely sounds like Richard Dreyfuss. So that's why I'm saying that this has to be Richard Dreyfuss.
I'll bet you 10 space bucks it's fucking Billy West.
I don't see. But can Billy West do a Richard Dreyfuss impersonation?
Well, we know he can do Larry Fine.
Yeah, he's the only other person aside from you that does Larry Fine.
Yeah.
That's not Larry Fine.
I would give everything I own for a legit trailer, not even a movie, but a trailer of having Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, and Rod Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
I mean, you know,
Rod Schneider is my photo name, actually.
You got Dixon
replace
Balls
them
and
with
Rod
these-
Schneider.
I would give everything I own for that. And then you add in all the sound effects and stuff, and it all goes against the shark and everything.
So we get some other comments. We got D Rook hanging out. He says, "Brothers 3, Happy New Year, bastards." What's
Hey,
up,
dude.
Rook?
Yeah, boy.
Good to hear from you, man. Happy New Year. I hope all is well. Evil Corny says, "I think W.C. Fields needs to be the mayor of the town." And then he said, "That sounds like Billy West. That sounds like Fry all day long."
Who said that?
Corny.
Yeah, see, Corny. Yeah, that's Billy West, bro.
Well, I'm gonna look it up here. Let me see.
Give Raven Chow, give Evil Corny a brother rating.
For that, brother rating at 8 for that.
8?
I'm just kidding. Brother rating at a 10.
Okay, guys.
Yep.
In addition to immersive film and audio assets integrated into the pinball action, Jaws includes custom speech performed by actor Richard Dreyfuss and the iconic movie theme music by John Williams. Okay, so Richard Dreyfuss is slowly turning into Larry Fine, it seems.
Actually, Billy West probably does a better Richard Dreyfuss than Richard Dreyfuss does.
That could be true.
Wow. That's pretty outstanding. Oh shit, Casual Noob, re-up my Patreon. Happy New Year.
Hey,
Yeah,
dude.
boy.
We need like a sound effect or something for when someone what would we do if someone like subscribes to the Patreon? What kind of sound effect is that? What do you guys hear in your heads?
Fire the-
Fire the
Do
harpoon.
the splatter sound
Wait,
effects.
here we go.
Fire the harpoon.
I wish I could isolate that and take the music out. I wonder if I could figure out a way to do that.
Oh, how about Gunga Bong?
Ganga bang. That's pretty good.
Gunga Bong.
Oh, I wonder if
Boy.
I have that somewhere. I'll have to look.
the conga bun.
Ganga bang.
Gunga Bong.
I mean, I know obviously I was on one of our episodes, but I probably have that clip somewhere. Let me see. Do I have? I don't have that. There's a program where you can search your whole computer, but I don't have it installed on this computer. I'll try and look for it though. I have it on the other computer, so I think I can't remember what we did. We would say gong ga bong, right? Like if I were to spell that, like maybe if I search for gong.
Yeah, like Gonga Bong, like Gong Show.
You know what's funny is I found the first thing that comes up is Gong Show 1976. I had the Oingo Boingo show like on my computer of them doing that.
Oh shit!
It's just an MP3 of it.
Oh, would it be spelled like Gungan?
Maybe. I'm looking for Gong first. Let's see. There's surprisingly a lot of things for Gong. I know Reverend Scott sent us that whole fucking, what was it, Night of the Gonga Bong or something like that. Do you remember what?
Oh, that was fucking magical.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, let me just search for bong.
Thank you.
All right, I'm knocking shit
upstairs.
over. Gong. All right, so bong. Cypress Hill came up in my search.
Bow with a bong.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to do another search. Where the fuck? Where would it be?
Any listeners who know when Gangabang made its debut?
Let's see.
Well,
Dead air or whatever. I'm just looking for. I'm
right.
looking for Gongabong. This is important.
So when you say the Jaws pinball story, is it a story mode on the pinball, or is it the story of how the pinball machine got made?
It's not on how the story. It's not based on how the pinball machine was made. It's based on the story of the movie. In fact, according to this, it says here. Where did I see it? Players will experience the original trilogy of films.
Wait.
So you might get. So you're going to get Jaws in 3D in this.
Look at that.
Yeah, but there was 4 films.
But you're going to get the original trilogy. Apparently, they couldn't get the rights to the 4th film, probably.
Like, is My Cocaine not going to sign off on that?
I guess not. I guess he made enough money on that, and it bought him a nice house, according to him. So.
Or Mario Van Peeps.
Or hearing the shark roar. I mean, you got to have a.
That's true. Although Jaws 3, I was so disappointed, not only in the film, but I thought that's what SeaWorld was. And it was you could walk underwater. I'm like, obviously this is fucking shot on location. But so when I finally got to SeaWorld and I didn't walk through the fucking underwater shark walkway, I was bummed out. But it did have Dennis Quaid, and it did have that really cool sequence of all the skiers doing like the go-go's gimmick, the stance, and the shark coming up. That was fucking scary.
Say what you guys want about Jaws 3. I like it, and I'll tell you why.
I haven't seen it in so long.
It's a terrible movie. It's so boring.
Yeah,
but
I said what I liked about it already.
I like it because when you take the 3D aspect out of it, wearing the glasses and everything, and you're just left with what you have to see with your bare eyes. It's amazing what I'm looking at, because like the shark, when it's coming towards the crew that's inside that underwater bubble that controls everything, the shark doesn't move. It doesn't move a muscle. It's just floating towards you.
Yeah,
and like the entire movie is like that. But also the scenes where it's not in 3D, there's a real eerie quality to the film stock when the 3D scenes aren't in play, when it's just regular scenes. There's just something very quintessentially early 80s eerie feeling about it. I can't, like the picture is somewhat blurred a little bit, and it kind of looks like maybe 3rd or 4th generation videotape. So it kind of has a grainy look to it. It's not sharp at all. And it just looks, it just, there's something about it that just doesn't look right. But that's what makes it look good, You dig what I'm saying?
I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, the shark comes across the screen like the original 60s Enterprise. Like, it's just like... different angles, like it comes up this way.
Yeah, basically, yeah, you're right.
So I
I
found.
didn't think about that, but you're right.
I think I found the Reverend Scott thing. So episode 260 was Night of the Colossal Gongabong. And the next episode, Reverend Scott sent us in something because it was our 5-year anniversary show. So I'm going to play it. I think this is it. Let's see.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
This October,
on Friday the 13th. If you'll be attending Rockin' Shock, don't worry about Jason Voorhees. You only need to worry about seeing one man.
Hey guys, it's Reverend Scott.
Brother rating.
Brother rating 10.
Hey there, Johnny Wolfenstein, Dynamo Mars, Monster Zero, Michael Raven Shadow, and any other lingering guests that may still be on the show. Here we are again on the cusp of another Rockin' Shock, and in the throes of passion with the loving embrace of a 5-year anniversary show. A real anniversary. And I can happily say that there's now far more episodes that I've heard than I've not heard. And I'm a devoted listener to Trick or Treat Radio, and I will be for many more years to come. Not only are you guys consistently entertaining and hilarious, but you discuss the heavier topics, like what movies are important. But I'll tell you what's important to me. Calling all of you guys friends and counting the seconds until we can meet again for flirtinis, stadium burgers, sports, 65 minutes of Raven Shadow eating potato skins with a knife and fork, and Monster Zero not knowing who the fuck I am. So until then, peace and love, guys.
There's a little more, so it's got to be something else.
Ils approchent! La vengeance des zombies par 12 heures.
Sounds like Bass Rutten.
Oh, this isn't going to end well at all.
Terrifyingly different.
Starring Rip Rockwell and Susie Cheesecake.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Wow. Yes. This is it.
There's a little splash of inappropriateness.
Gong bong. Gong bong.
Gong bong.
Gongabong. Gongabong. Raven Shadow, you like that way too much. I'm a little worried over here.
Gong bong.
Gongabong.
Gong bong.
We are going to hell.
Now, back to our show.
There it is. I don't even remember what that was from.
I think it's time for a remix.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Gongabong.
Gongabong.
What was that from? Do you guys remember?
It was that fucking like weird like zombie porno thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like some weird like Austrian zombie black and white thing. And when the zombies like bust through the doors, they were like gongabong.
Yeah, it was some weird movie. I forget.
The thing is, we did Colossal on that episode. That was the one with Anne Hathaway and the
with the monster.
It was whatever it was
with her mind.
Yeah.
Somehow towards the end of the show, we got this clip that we watched in studio. Fuck, I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Revenge of the Gangbang Zombies? Is that it?
Maybe.
That's in the notes.
I remember Colossal. That was a good movie too. I don't know.
I don't think it was in Colossal. Let me look up Revenge of the Gangbang Zombies while I end up on some kind of list.
That's good. Yeah, it goes all our evolution.
Okay, here's minute 24. Okay, here it is.
Gong bong. Gong bong.
That's it.
Gong
Yeah.
bong.
Ils approchent!
La vengeance des zombies par 12 heures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Une nouvelle étape dans la peur.
Non, pitié!
Rip Rockwell et Susie Cheesecake ensemble pour la première fois à l'écran.
Susie Cheesecake.
Susie Cheesecake, starring Susie Cheesecake.
Oh mon Dieu. Tiens, aide-moi avec ces planches. Il faut faire vite. On va condamner les fenêtres. Ouais, comme ça. Si ces zombies entrent, ils vont nous niquer à mort.
What was it?
Enfin,
French.
surtout toi.
Yeah.
Ça les empêchera jamais de rentrer.
Oh, je n'ai plus de planche.
Ben, t'as qu'à prendre mon gourdin.
Oh. He just unzipped the pants.
Soyez prêts à être souillés par la semence des morts vivants.
Prepare to get drenched in the sperm of the undead, it says. Jesus.
Yep.
Oh non, non, oh non.
Oh, God.
La vengeance des zombies partouzeurs.
Oh boy, Ski.
I
Gang
wanna-
bang.
I wanna watch
Gang
this
bang. Gang bang.
Oh,
I need to
God.
see this again.
Oh, my God. I got to play that Reverend Scott thing one more time. Hold on.
My new Alice
Cheesecake.
Hotel Rooms is Susie cheesecake.
Yeah. And go back.
Gonga bong.
Sounds like Bass Rutten.
Oh, this is a.
Ils approchent.
La vengeance des zombies partouzeurs.
Sounds like Bass Rutten.
Oh, this isn't going to end well at all.
Dans la peur.
Terrifyingly different.
Rip Rockwell et Susie
Starring Rip
Cheesecake
Rockwell and
ensemble pour la
Susie
première fois à
Cheesecake.
l'écran. Gang bang. Gang bang.
Wow.
There's a little splash of inappropriateness.
Gang bang. Gang bang.
Gang bang.
Gongabong. Gongabong. Rachel, you like that way too much. I'm a little worried over here.
Gong bong.
Bunga bong.
Gong bong.
We are going to hell.
Oh, that's too fun.
Wow. That was over 6 years ago.
Wow.
Gongabong.
Oh.
Oh, man. Angry Townsman a few minutes ago said, Loch Ness. How about Tree Fitty? They're talking about you guys are doing the Jaws discussion, I think.
Yes.
Evil Corny says, Raven Shadow, I went to SeaWorld in Florida and was looking forward to the same thing. Not a damn Shamu show.
Right?
And then
Bullshit.
Evil Corny also says, damn, I love Holy Shit with Reverend Scott.
Oh my God.
So I guess I have to get the Gongabong, and that'll be the Patreon sound.
Oh, that's a fucking watch along. Yeah.
Whew. Gongabong. I haven't thought about that in a while.
I think about it every day.
There's probably a reason I haven't thought about it in a while. Oh man. So hey, what else is going on? Oh, I didn't even talk about what we're doing tonight. Holy shit.
Reverend Scott.
So we are going to be, it's 2024. What better way to kick off a new year than with Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about his latest film, Dream Scenario. Well, actually, I don't know if it's his latest. I can't keep up. Although I did see a headline that he has paid off his back taxes. I didn't read the article, but I saw that he has paid off his back taxes.
Good.
So good for him. Maybe he can be a little bit more picky and choosy now.
And he's going to pay off his front taxes.
He's going to pay his gongabong taxes.
It's gongabong.
So, yeah, we'll be talking about Dream Scenario. It's the latest film starring Nicolas Cage, and it is directed, let's see if I can get this guy's name right, Christopher Borgli, or Borley. I don't know if the G is silent, Borgli or Borley. But, yeah, so I'm not familiar with the director. We'll talk about that film in just a little bit. And I think it'll be an interesting discussion. We're back to one film a week until we do another Patreon takeover. But we got some cool stuff coming up. We have a guest next week. We'll be talking about that after we do the film discussion. And then the week after that, we also have another guest lined up. And then we have episode 600. So we have two guests, episode 600. I got some ideas brewing. So if you guys have any thoughts about what you want to see for episode 600, give us a shout. Let us know. What are you doing, Raven Shadow? What is that? Showing off tattoo?
Road to 600.
You're pointing at the. Oh,
No, I'm pointing.
I see. Is there a big episode 600 sign in your on the other side of your basement there?
This is WrestleMania 600.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what though? Legit. I am regretting two things at the shop I didn't buy. One was a really dope, like big Bowen, like Warren Worthington angel statue. But the other one was we got the Money in the Bank in the shop, like the briefcase. And it was nice. So you could actually it actually got like suitcase locks on it. Like pops, open it up like the fucking briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Well, like I guess any briefcase. And I should have bought it.
That's how briefcases work.
Yeah, I've only seen the one in Pulp Fiction. That's it. But Tony Stark used to carry his armor. But I think it might have been $30 or $40, and I should have fucking bought it. I could have put my lunch in it.
Would you have kept the Money in the Bank on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, don't fucking peel it off. I'm a fucking 40-something-year-old man. Of course, I keep Money in the Bank on it.
You should just carry your lunch in your Boba Fett luggage. Just fucking wheel that around everywhere you go.
That would be a lot of container to hold my little fucking, microwave mac and cheese little gimmick. But I've seen, it's the second time I've seen the briefcase come in the shop. So if I see it for a third time, I'm gonna buy the motherfucker.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what else we got here? So we're going to be talking about the latest Nicolas Cage film. We will announce what's coming up for next week, and also for episode 600, it is 3 weeks away. So we should probably come up with some ideas, some themes, if people want to send some shit in. Once again, like as the milestones start to add up, I just feel like they're not as special. Like I don't know, like when we got to 250, it was like, oh my god, 250, and and then every sort of 100 or 50, I guess. So 250, 300, 350, 400. So on and so forth. I think 600 is kind of, I guess it's 100 louder than 500, right?
It's 100 more, isn't it?
So I guess it's cool, but I don't really know. I don't know. 600 episodes. Are we in syndication yet? How, Jesus Christ, how far do we have to go? How many do we have to do to get syndication?
We have to get 666, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Maybe we'll just stop there. I can't think of a better place to stop.
Yeah.
The road to 666.
Yeah.
Which means that we would end up stopping sometime around.
Be like March.
Sometime in May.
May? Oh, okay.
Sometime in May of next year.
Yeah. Well, we're not actually talking about that, but it would be funny.
I do feel that we have to have a top 13 of 13 years, though. That's a good goal too.
So you're saying we need to get to 13 years? Jesus, dude.
Which yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I got 4 more years left in me. I just had my physical.
Oh, you got any news? Last will and testament.
Yeah, no. Overall, it was my lungs sounded good.
They sounded good. How do they look?
Yeah, she's not as thorough as my.
It's probably good for you.
Was. Yeah, but I don't feel like I got my whole experience. I feel like I'm just trusting not the thermostat. What do you call it? Hello.
You have a thermostat on your chest?
No, when they put it in the ears and they put the little microphone.
Oh my god, I almost called it a stenographer. The stethoscope.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about it?
What does that do?
What?
What does it do? What do you think what do you think it does?
Listen to a heartbeat, dude.
No, don't let him. No. What do you think it does, Raven Shadow?
Is it for hearing? It's super hearing, right?
Super hearing. You could be a fucking superhero. Just carry that around.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Pick locks and shit. But yeah, no, they ask you a lot of questions though now about fucking substances. Even more so.
Why is that making you worried?
No, but it made me fucking any more honest, I'll tell you that much.
Like what kind of substances? What are we talking here? Like spider tack, like for throwing baseballs, like those kinds of substances, banned substances.
Like pine tar? Yeah.
Pine tar, yeah.
Well, it's
No,
like
they
I
still
told you. It's like I told you, Raven Shadow. You lie to your girlfriend, you lie to the cops. You don't lie to your doctor.
No, you got it. They put that shit in my chat now, and I'm reading the fucking transcripts. Apparently 12 beers a week is a lot to them.
Is that wait, you're way undervaluing your intake.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, totally low ball. Yeah. But like, I'm not. Once again, I'm not promoting it, not denying it, like Bill Hicks once said. But like, they have no idea, especially 6 years ago. But they think like 2 a day is much. That's not true.
What do you think is too much?
There's usually signs. There's not always one clear answer, Wolfie.
Like physical signs or like signs like stop signs?
Both. No, but like, you know what I mean? It's like double digits.
A day?
Yeah. No, a couple of beers.
A day?
But no, yeah, that's weird. You got to be careful. But it was overall good. Killing it. Lungs, killing it.
I don't think you want to use that term when you're talking about your health.
Probably not. But yeah. Don't tell them the truth.
Evil Corny says there's no happy endings in physicals, Raven Shadow.
That's what sucks. No, but at least like they should. At least,
Oh, is he talking about like good news or is he talking about like happy endings? Like what are you talking about there, Corny?
Yeah, I don't know. It's Alabama.
Hold
rules.
down, yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, it would encourage him to go to the doctor more.
Yeah, no.
When I think of happy endings, I can't help but think of fucking Nicolas Cage in this movie.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. That's a great segue, Wolf.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
That's a good segue.
Holy shit! I just remembered.
Oh yeah, how could you forget? Fearless performance. Fearless. I think we should get right into it.
I should get the sound all queued up here.
The splooch. Yes, sir.
Get the other one prepared too.
What the fucking Jaws one with a gonga bong?
No. After the splooge.
Oh.
It's not the movie, right?
Well, yes. I thought you were talking about some other sound effects that we were talking about. What about this one? After the splooge, do this.
Fire the harpoon.
I think you need to play that before the splooge.
Fire the harpoon. Oh
man.
All right. So let's start to wrap this up because I am curious to talk about this movie. There's some interesting themes, and not only that, it's just an interesting movie. And yes, a fearless performance. I think that's fair to say. Oh, man. All right. So let's see here. Oh, yeah. We released our year-end, I almost called it 2013. Oh, my God. 2023 year-end show is now available. If you guys want to hear the top 13 films of 2023 on Trick or Treat Radio, you can give that a listen. It is available on the podcast feed. Also, the video feed is also on our YouTube, or you can also find it from trickortreatradio.com. If you just go look for the year-end 2023 show if you find that post on the front page, just click on it, and the video feed is embedded right in there. So either way, or go to our YouTube, and you can find that. Some interesting stuff in terms of the best films. Everyone's lists were, I would say, fairly different. Not very, but fairly different. There was only a handful of films that appeared on everyone's list, which is surprising. But you guys can find out what the number one film of 2023 is from the master list. I also loved EF did some stats, and I loved his what he did. I don't have it in front of me because when I have to be on the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook page, so I can't look at my personal stuff, or else it'll fuck everything up. Let me see if I can pull it up on my other computer.
I can look it up.
All right, I can also pull it up on the other computer here. I mean, I have two computers. The other one has. Let's see.
About his list.
All right. So okay, I'm on the group page. I just got to pull it up, find it here. But so yeah, EF did his own top 13 list. I think he saw every film, if I'm not mistaken. He might have. There might have been one he didn't see for a specific reason. I don't remember. All right, here we go. So yeah, so the stats. EF says, for fun, for me, nerdy reasons, I compared your top 13 lists with mine and got the following. It doesn't give away any spoilers, but it says 7 of my picks matched with Johnny. We also had the same film at number 7. 7 matched with the master top 13 list, same number 4. 6 matched with MZ, same number 13. 4 matched with Raven Shadow. 4 matched with Casual Noob, and we both put Candyland on our lists. And he says, I'm surprised that Raven Shadow and I did not score higher. This will surely affect my brother rating. If it gets any lower, I will be required to find another garage in which to park my car. To which Raven Shadow, what'd you say about brother rating?
No, brother rating is locked, bro.
It's locked. It's locked in.
Locked in.
Locked and loaded.
Locked in. Yeah. Brother rating secured.
So yeah, I thought that that was pretty funny. MZ, your camera froze for like 2 seconds with the cat looking like it was stealing your breath or your soul or something.
Yeah. And we totally saw what your cat had for lunch too, by the
way. So yeah, so the 2023 year-end show is available, and we also put out a supplemental show for Patreon. So we always sort of do a corresponding show that goes along with the year-ender. And on that, we talked about just overall a little bit more about the year in film, about some of the trends that we saw, generally our thoughts about the year of 2023. And then we did our Dear God No awards, and we did our personal top 5 lists, which it's always fun to hear everyone's top 5. So appreciate people who tuned in for that. And if you guys haven't heard it yet, you can catch it on the Patreon feed. If you're not already a supporter, you can join for as little as $2 a month. And I don't know when I'm going to institute this, but you guys thought that this was a good idea. And I was hoping to get some more interaction with our Patreon supporters. So I don't know all the ins and outs of this yet. I'm going to try to figure out a way to do it, but I want folks to be able to participate in our film selection for the month. So typically what I do is I just look at what's coming out. I keep a running list of things every couple weeks. I look at the VOD lists and take a look. Or if there's something that MZ calls out, which he has done on occasion. Raven Shadow never calls out any movies because he doesn't know any movies. So, so I thought it might be fun because MZ had mentioned it was something I was thinking about. And MZ had mentioned, he's like, "Oh, we should have did this movie for 2023." You know, it got recommended to me by Creepy Girl, and you know, he thought that it might have made some lists or something like that. And I was like, well, you know, we can only do so many. You know, it's we did 61, and you know, sure, there's some in there that maybe we could have replaced, but we never know going in because you know none of us have seen the films, or usually we don't see the films beforehand. So it's kind of like a blind kind of deal. But yeah, I thought it might be cool to do sort of like an advisory board, like a film advisory board or something along those lines. Probably come up with a little snappier title. But Patreon supporters will be able to participate, and maybe they can vote on which films. Maybe they can suggest their own films, things like that. So if you guys have ideas about this film advisory board, we'll probably come up with a snappier name. Please feel free to comment. Let us know what you think. And, you know, we'll come up with the criteria, but the criteria will be that it has to be a new movie. It has to be like new within either this calendar year or within the last few months if it's the beginning of a year. So, for instance, Dream Scenario came out right at the end of December. And I think it came out like right as we were wrapping up the year. So I decided to just kind of hold on to it and do it at the beginning of January. So something like that is fine. You know, it doesn't have to come out in in the same year in 2024, but just within a range of a few months. And usually it's good. We like doing stuff as soon as it hits VOD. That way it's fresh. It's out there. We can tell people like, hey, like, this is what we thought. If you want to check it out, go check it out. Or people can play along at home, all that stuff. So that's kind of how we like to do it. So if you guys have thoughts about how this might work or how you'd like to see it, let us know. The best place is probably Discord. Maybe I'll create a discussion about it, and then people can throw out some ideas. And I want you guys to help shape it. So I don't want to, just be us dictating how it goes. I want you guys to help shape it as well. And that'll be for Patreon supporters only. So if you're a free Patreon supporter, like if you just go and just like the follow us on Patreon without paying, you won't have access to this. I want to make sure we give people who put down their hard-earned bucks, just some extra little perks. Because I know it's a tough choice to do, and there's a lot of different things you could be paying for, like bills or gas. Not cigarettes, Raven Channel.
Hey.
The essentials. So, yeah. Just some thoughts. So, feel free to throw some other ideas out there if you guys have them, listeners, and let us know. All right, I missed a bunch of chat. Let's see. Creepy Girl popped in, said, "Hey, guys. Sorry, I'm late. I had to finish up on the curious case of Natalia Grace. Makes me want to kill people. I don't know what that is."
Okay.
Is it a new series?
Maybe we can edit that out a little bit.
Yeah, it's based on a true story of some sort.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty messed up, actually.
Oh, okay. Creepy Girl then goes on to say, "I've not watched your top 13 yet. I can't wait to hear your choices, though. I know my list is going to be the opposite of what you guys picked. LOL."
You never know.
Marion says, "Hey, guys, I'm listening to you while at the supermarket." Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's either good or bad. I don't really know. And Marion says, "Hi, Creepy Girl. Evil Dead Rise made none of their lists." Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
What else? Creepy Girl says, "Walden and Oracle. I would highly suggest that just came out." Walden and Oracle. I don't know.
Yeah, there's this new thing called Oracle that came out. I haven't heard of Walton yet, but I saw a thing for Oracle earlier today, as a matter of fact.
Maybe I've seen that one. I don't remember. It's not ringing a bell right now. I'll look it up and see. Oracle. Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Oh, it's
is
not
this the one
Walden
with-
and Oracle? I thought it was like a law firm.
No. Oracle starring Heather Graham. Look at that.
Yo.
And Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not familiar with this one, but looks like it's fairly. It came out maybe the end of 2023, but yeah, there you go. So, oh, and Creeper Girl also says the movie Orphan is based on Natalie or Natalia Grace.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you know Orphan, then you know what to expect.
So
We're all orphans.
we are. It looks like it's on Max.
It's all about a young woman who posed as like a 10-year-old girl.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
All right. Curious case of Natalia Grace.
You're a poet and didn't know it.
That's true. All right. So, yeah. Patreon.trickortreatradio.com. That's the place to go right there. Patreon.trickortreatradio.com. You can hear our latest episode where I already outlined the content. We sort of extend the year-end show. So if you want to listen in order, make sure you listen to the year-ender first and then go listen to the Patreon supplemental episode, because we do talk about our top 13 lists on that. So you're better off listening to the year-end first and then checking out the Patreon. So if you guys want to support, just go to patreon.trickortreatradio.com and you can join for as little as $2 a month. And we'll hopefully get some details on that advisory board thing coming up soon. Just trying to figure out the best way to do it and get some time to really sit down with it. And yeah, and also if you guys want to have ideas for things for the 600th episode coming up at the end of the month, also let us know about that. All right. Other ways you can support, you can go to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. Everything they purchase in that session, we're going to attribute it to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Michael Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
Exactly. And finally, on trickortreatradio.com, we have the greatest hits. Just click on store and it'll bring you to the digital store, and you can buy the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. It's a little sampler of the early years, the highlights, the lowlights, the midlights, the songs, the interviews, the arguments, all that good shit. Give it a look. You can buy them for, I think it's $3 a pop. But yeah, check those out. Patreon, the Amazon link, and the greatest hits. All right, Michael Raven Shadow. So you sit down, you watch a Nicolas Cage film. I'm sure you're excited because you I know you do love you some Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I do love to get my cage on. And I'm also more excited because it's one movie a week, Johnny. And I don't got to cram jam into one night. That always fails. So that's
Why do you
exciting.
do one night?
So
you should spread them out over 2 nights.
It doesn't happen like that.
Well, it could. You just got to plan it.
Yeah, but no, I planned for it to do that. It just didn't happen.
All right.
It's gone. Time is gone.
So go ahead.
I'm trying, but like, yeah.
What do you do?
What I mean?
What do you
So I
do?
get excited. So I watched it the night before, only one movie, and that was good. And then I think about all the content that we've been dropping lately. To your point, not only we've done, Patreon shows, we've had the year ender. So why don't you check that out and go on a 2-day bender within reason. Make sure all your stuff is done. And so when I think about that, I strapped on.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, the bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music. Pants. Quoting video games that don't have dialogues. Shabibans. Tasty news.
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers. Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Reductopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we? We sure do.
So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week, we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Reductopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify.
Thank you
Stitcher,
guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
Don't say that.
That's like, you really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. I
You
don't
just jinxed us.
Yeah. you put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for
You
greatness.
guys are awesome. You really are. You got
say
a
that again
great show.
slowly.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
Hey, you matzo heads. This is Larry Fine, and you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Gunga Bong, we are back. And it is time to talk about our featured film discussion this week, Dream Scenario. This film from 2023 is rated R, and it is 102 minutes. It is a comedy horror written and directed by Christopher Borgley. And the film stars Nicolas Cage, Lily Bird, getting choked up talking about it, Julianne Nicholson, Jessica Clement, Star Slade, David Klein. Let me see. What else? Paula Boudreau, Marnie McPhail, Tim Meadows.
Yes.
Yes.
Ladies' man.
Yes, Dylan Baker.
The undercover brother himself.
And also the great Dylan Baker is in this as well.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And
it's like two fine hams in the back of your dress.
Oh, shit. What else we got here? Yeah, so let me read the synopsis. A hapless family man finds his life turned upside down when millions of strangers suddenly start seeing him in their dreams. When his nighttime appearance takes a nightmarish turn, Paul is forced to navigate his newfound stardom. All right, well, this one has very interesting places it goes, some interesting and timely, I would say, topics.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't quite know what to expect. I did see the trailer on this one, and I knew it was going to be a little bit of a weird one. People are dreaming about Nicolas Cage's character of Paul Matthews, is that his name? Yeah, Paul Matthews. And he's this very sort of normal looking guy. He's like balding, beard, very much like teacher kind of vibes, right? Like kind of very
milquetoast white guy.
Yes.
You know.
Like very non-threatening, you know, just kind of a dad, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
And it's probably the most like I've seen a lot of Nicolas Cage movies. It's
Have
probably
you
his
have you
most,
seen him
like,
in your dream movies?
in my mind movies? Yeah. I have a fucking in my mind movies. Face Off is a fucking trilogy, bro. But like, I think the way he looks in this is the closest thing to that movie adaptation or adaption. Didn't he play like adaptation? He played like the real character and like a voice or some fucking shit like that. Like, but yeah, like it's probably his most natural looking hairline, to be fair, that he's had in years.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Is that what his hair looks like?
I don't know, but like, I'm just saying,
That
he
don't
had
look
help
like
in
a
Con
bald
Air.
cap. Yeah, that don't look like a bald cap.
It did to me in one shot. Like you can see from behind, it looked like it was a bald cap. But I don't know.
If it is, it's very convincing.
All right, so dream scenario. Let's do some first impressions of this one. So this one for me, I knew I was getting into something that was going to be a little weird. And I mean, not weird. Like this is pretty benign compared to a lot of stuff that we've done over the years. So I just knew it wasn't going to be a traditional sort of narrative. Like I knew there was some other stuff, some dream logic and things like that. When you watch the trailer, you can't quite tell what's dream and what's not. And you know, I actually liked in this that they showed a lot of the dreams, especially early on when everyone shows up in class that first time. And then everyone's like explaining their dreams. I thought that was really cool to see the dreams play out and the way they film them and everything. And there's a lot of opportunity for some interesting imagery with that as well. Because in dreams, I mean, weird shit happens. Our subconscious is creative and fucking bizarre sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a really cool exploration of being able to sort of show the different dreams. And this actually touched on some topics that I didn't realize it was going to touch on. I don't think it's spoiler to say, because I actually have seen this talked about in a lot of reviews, and like non-spoiler reviews, that is, that it deals with the idea of cancel culture and like sort of viral sensations, like how 1 minute someone is a viral sensation, their video goes viral and they're the hottest fucking thing, and then within like fucking finger snap, people forget about them, or they do something unsavory and now they're canceled and their life is fucking ruined or changed or whatever. So I like that this film tackled this in a really intelligent way, as opposed to having it be by the book of like, oh, well, this person did something shitty, they're going to be canceled. Right. This did it in a way that was sort of allegorical, I guess, even though they kind of bring up the idea of being canceled. But there's also still a lot of unknowns about it, because we don't know why this happens. You know, that's something that I don't want to get too deep into anyways, because I feel like it's something that maybe people can talk about after they've seen it. But there's some unknowns about why this happens to Paul Matthews, Nicolas Cage's character, and what, like, does it have something to do with his psyche, his state of mind? And there's some interesting things that revolve around people sort of like not necessarily stealing his ideas, but there's an idea, or there's like a plot in this where someone, I can't remember actually, did he work with the person or was it a former partner?
Were colleagues.
Colleagues, okay.
Yeah, or maybe they may be classmates. Maybe they were classmates.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was mixing that up with the other women he saw at the theater. But
right.
So it's someone who's a colleague or friend or or something along those lines, and she ends up taking one of his ideas, like that he talked about, and kind of turning it into a book. And so it's an interesting journey of how he sort of deals with that, as well as kind of like a side plot. So yeah, I mean, a lot of interesting stuff. I want to dig into it a little bit. That's kind of my first impression. It's a very interesting presentation and how it talked about a lot of these concepts. But I want to kind of dive in a little bit deeper, but I want to let you guys in. So MZ, how about you? Do you want to go ahead and give your impression?
Yeah, well, I agree with the council culture idea that you presented. I do agree with that too. Excuse me. I feel that this is probably, with the exception of one minor scene, that this is probably the most Nick Cage movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy things do happen, but he is not a very crazy person, so he's more laid back, more subdued, so you're not going to get the usual Nick Cage performance. And with that, you get to see a lot of range with him out of that.
Yeah.
Because of, and which is really something that you really don't get that often. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, there's a lot of good actors out there that they put on a performance and they're best known for that performance, so they string it along with other movies, and tens of dozens of movies like it. Samuel L. Jackson's a good example of that. We always see him as a trash-talking, badass motherfucker who don't take shit from anybody and is ready to fuck you up if you try. Right? And he's like, and he will eviscerate you either physically or most likely verbally.
Right.
Or take, for instance, Vincent Price. I mean, he could be a good guy, he could be a heathen, but either way, no matter what side of either good or bad he's on, he's always very gentlemanly. My dear, oh, my dear, that sort of thing. So, you always got that almost regal, gentlemanly way about him, either on the side of good or the side of bad. Now, Nicolas Cage here, you got the Nicolas Cage that we've always known, and that's just to be an out and out, social misfit almost, in a way. Constantly yelling and screaming and putting himself into situations that drive him crazy, and he goes batshit nuts and everything like that. But you don't get that here, except for one small minor scene. But what I'm saying is that we get a different performance out of Nick Cage this time around. And I was hoping that we would get something like this, just based on how he looked. I was kind of hoping we would get that. And we got it. I feel we got it anyway. Now, whether or not that's his natural hairline, Raven Shadow, that's beside the point. Who knows? It may very well could be.
It's not a small.
But I find it refreshing to see him play kind of like the laid back character, and the whole world around him is going crazy. You know, it's a different outlook of things. You know, it's mirror. It's total opposite. You know, so. But but that's my first take on it right now.
All right, Raven Shadow.
So we've discussed a lot of this new kind of Cage assance on the show in the last couple of years. You know, I think Mandy kind of kicked it off with him embracing genre weirdness. And truly, all jokes aside, he's had a fantastic, a 40-something year career, right? If you want to count Fast Times, right? Like, I first became truly aware of him in a lead role in, my parents took me to go see Raising Arizona back in the day. So what? That was 86, 87.
Yeah.
So I'd have been maybe 9 or 10. And I just got that movie. And then I remember my mom and I quoting Moonstruck a lot. The scene where Cher slaps him in the face, like, snap out of it, you know. I'd never seen it, but it was on TV all the time. But I really embraced my love of Cage during the late 90s, during the Rock, Con Air, obviously Face Off, Snake Eyes.
Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Leaving Las Vegas. The one with the weird precursor with Sex and the City. Even Bring Out the Dead, the Scorsese picture. And then later on, adaptation, Lord of War. You know, I didn't watch The Family Man, but even the Fisher-Price, what do you call it? The fucking National Treasure pictures. And then when he kind of got crazy, as like I said, embraced the genre with Mandy in these movies, where the Cage rage really became the big gimmick. You never know what you're going to get with this guy. But all I saw was the poster, and now he's very
Life
like
is
sluggish.
life is like a Nicolas Cage movie.
For real. Like, what's this motherfucker gonna do now? But I think his reinvention tour has been fantastic. Mom and Dad, and then later on, even the more mainstream, the astounding light of Nicolas Cage, or whatever the fuck it was, the phantasmagorical spin kick of Nicolas Cage. Unbearable,
The unbearable
lightness,
weight.
whatever. Oh,
Jesus.
no,
You're
seriously.
the worst at remembering movie titles and actors and actresses, but you, like MZ, can remember these fucking obscure sitcoms. I just don't get it. Like, I completely bypassed you saying Sex and the City when I knew you meant Sarah Jessica Parker. Like, you know her name.
Not at that moment.
Oh, God.
I did after you said it. But, like, what's this guy gonna fucking do? And yeah, man, like, good for Nick Cage. That's what I gotta say.
That boy good.
That boy good. He's a Coppola after all.
So one thing I just saw, actually, I was looking to see, because I thought I saw a headline that said he paid off his back taxes, and he has, but he also said, this is in early December, so it was about a month ago, he said that he is now eyeing a Hollywood endgame. He says, I've said what I've had to say about film. He's getting ready to turn 60, and he said he has 3 or 4 films left in him. That's it. He said he's going to be a little bit more picky. But, and that's not counting the ones that are already in the can. You know, like he shot a bunch
already. 40 that are already on deck.
Yeah. But he has, he said about 3 or 4 left. So it says, in the article, it's on the Hollywood Reporter. It says, part of Cage's latter year acting surge was driven by the actor having to pay the IRS $14 million in back taxes. in 2009. He said, "I made the decision to work my way out of it," Cage told The Hollywood Reporter last year. "But I only did movies where I thought I could bring something authentic to them. I turned a lot of crap down." And says whether Cage actually sticks to this plan remains to be seen. He told The Hollywood Reporter that he quickly gets restless in between projects and is a better man when he's working. You and Nicolas Cage have so much in common, Raven Shadow. He says, "I'm a better man when I'm working because I don't want to be that guy that's sitting by a pool getting bombed on Mai Tais and Dom Perignon." He said, "I've been that guy in between jobs, and it's only fun for maybe 2 days, and then you're like, I got to get healthy. So work has always been a place where my job is to get up in the morning, to work out, to do 5 to 8 miles on the elliptical. I lift weights, I look at the news, I feed all my animals, and then call my boys. I'm focused. I'm working with other actors. I have a very clean life when I'm filming, and that's important to me."
Wow. Someone fucking put me in a movie.
So leaving
Brian
Las
Van
Vegas,
Pallen picked up.
leaving Las Vegas was not fiction. it was a work of nonfiction.
It was a documentary.
Yeah.
I also
Wow.
heard too that he might look into getting his TV.
Well, yeah, he did say so. He did say 3 or 4 movies left, but it said that he might try to do some other stuff like getting into TV. You're right.
His own sitcom. Nice.
That would you guys would fucking love that. A Nicolas Cage sitcom.
And you couldn't avoid it.
Oh, I mean, but you guys love sitcoms is what I mean.
Yeah.
So
fuck you.
All
Maybe
right.
he'll be, he'll do like run a bicycle shop and.
Jesus.
God damn it. All right. So was that? Sorry, Raven Shadow. Did you wrap up your first impression?
Yes.
All right. So let's jump in. Get into some more detail here. So the movie has a very interesting opening because and in hindsight, I'm trying to go back and think about, okay, what did that opening mean? Was it just a dream that his daughter was having? I mean, obviously it was a dream, but was there something more to it, more foreshadowing that I didn't, at the time when you're watching it, it's the first thing you see, so you don't pick up on foreshadowing. So I'm just wondering if that feeds in at all. And so she's sitting at a glass table, and then like all of a sudden the glass table fucking shatters, and then there's like keys that land nearby, and then there's like a shoe in the pool, and then a body falls into the pool.
Yeah.
It's like shit is raining. Like I'm thinking of like other movies, like a movie like Nope. Like I'm thinking like, is someone falling out of the sky? Is fucking Pinball, is fucking Dave Chappelle gonna fall out from the sky like in Con Air?
The Jaws pinball machine's about to fall down out of the sky.
Yeah, the Jaws.
Yeah, so kind of an interesting setup. And then we have like a little bit later in the film, I mean, I won't say too much, but what happens is like, doesn't the daughter start kind of rising up and then starts kind of floating as well?
Yeah.
So, and that's something we see a little bit later as well. That's why I wasn't sure if there's something tied or if that was just subconscious. But
like, I'm thinking like, is this some weird thing where like people are getting pulled up is gravity fucked up for people and then gravity restarts?
Yeah. So it's funny. Sorry. I as soon as you said that, I had a thought about what this movie, I had a thought. Okay. So I think I understand a little bit more. I don't know why something just occurred to me, but I was just thinking about some of the aspects of this. And so early on, someone sees him and they're like, "Hey, you look familiar." And he's like, "Oh, well, I work at the school. Maybe you went to that school." And she's like, "No, I never went there." And so people keep saying he looks familiar. And then there was like I think it was with Dylan Baker's character of Richard, where he says that they had like a big, they had like a dinner party that Paul wasn't invited to, that he was like all bummed out about. And at the dinner party, like the people there were talking about seeing Paul in their dreams. So he had kind of told them about that. And then that's kind of when it feels like the floodgates sort of started to open, where people around him, you know, people in class, like basically everybody in the fucking world was seeing him in their dreams. And the thing about it is he was just like an observer. He wasn't playing an active role in their dreams. He was just walking by, you know, or kind of watching from the corner or something, you know, or in the corner of the room just being creepy. So
right. So if it was a nightmare, if Jason Voorhees was chasing you through Camp Crystal Lake, he'd just be standing behind a tree.
Right. Or, you know, there's somebody who was like holding like someone who had just died or something like that. And he's just walking by, looking at them, you know, like
a car accident.
Yeah.
And
He had nothing to do with it. He just happens to be walking by at the moment that this person is holding, you know, a dead body.
But by the time we see the opening, we see that it's gotten so close to home that it's infecting his own children.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so this might have been affecting the townspeople, but now it's on his front door.
So
because it's seeped into his family life.
Yeah. So the thought I just had, and I won't say too much to give anything away, but let me know what you guys think. So there's something about the way he interprets these dreams. Like, for instance, his daughter was talking about one of her dreams, and he's like, "But that's not me. I wouldn't do that." Like, he feels like there's like a guilty consciousness, you know, of I wouldn't have done that. Like, you know, when you have no control over what someone dreams, right? Like, sure, maybe something you did could influence something that happens in their dream or something, but all these people who don't know him, they have no preconceived notions. There's nothing. They have no ideas about him. So therefore, that's, you know, like, they don't have any preconceived notions about what he might do. So what I was thinking is, like, he's almost, he's really just sort of a bystander in almost like in his own life. He, like, for instance, with the thing with the book, the woman who's writing the book, and he gets kind of mad. Like, he's very passive and not very assertive. So I feel like his role in the dreams was more of a passive role, because that's how he is in his real life. He's very passive and kind of like, oh, well, whatever, you know, like, but he also gets very defensive about the dreams. You know, like, someone has a dream where he does something weird, he gets offended. He's like, I wouldn't do that. Why would you dream that? Basically, like, despite them not having any control over it, you know?
Well,
It's fun. It's almost like,
well, I was just going to say, well, he seems like he seems to live a life that's filled with those kind of situations. You know, he seems like the kind of guy who would be, I don't want to say blamed, but maybe people think of him in a certain way because of his appearance and what his job entails and his whole demeanor. It makes him a target. So, you know, while he's not essentially being blamed, you know, he's not, you know, he wouldn't do these sort of things. People would say, well, yeah, you would, simply based on his appearance, because of his personality, or based on how he handles things in a critical situation, or whatever the case might be.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Well, it's like you said, he wouldn't do those things, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a guilty conscience, like you said.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that, because I feel that maybe because of his appearance, because he does have a rather I don't want to say he's not slovenly. He's not a slob or anything like that. But he just comes across as the kind of person who's very easily that you could tack on things on him that and make him feel guilty. You know, I don't know if I'm coming across.
I think I know what you mean.
As distinctly as I like to think that I am, but
because he is sort of like passive, and then because he does have this sort of guilty conscience that when someone sort of says he did something, he just like, I didn't do that. Like, I mean, I think, yeah, go ahead.
Almost to the point where he might actually believe it. You know,
right,
if they keep on saying it to him enough, you know, it gets to the point where he might actually start to believe it.
Yeah, that's a good thought, though, because he does get a little bit more assertive, I would say. Not aggressive, per se, assertive. And what he wants. And, like, he wants a book deal, you know, and I gotta love that scene when he goes to talk to Michael Cera's character. And
right.
And the
In full stash mode.
Yep. And the other his like the marketing girl or whatever. And you know, and they're like, oh yeah, like, you know, Sprite. Like, you know, like they're basically trying to say that he should be an influencer in people's dreams. Like he could sort of be like an advertiser, like an influencer who just penetrates people's dreams and promotes products. Like how fucking invasive is that? Like that, I mean, that's almost what advertisements on social media feels like nowadays. Because it is
100%.
Yeah, especially because, you know, they key in on the things that we want. You know, like if you look up something in a search, chances are you're going to have something recommended that is reflective of that, you know. So it's almost like your subconscious is working for them, you know, to help recommend products. So I thought that was a really interesting sort of idea, is that the subconscious is, you know, sort of you know, like in a way can be manipulated to, you know, to promote products and stuff, you know.
I mean, one thing I'd like to go back to, I just think that he's such a non-entity. He's such a spectator,
non-threatening. Yeah.
He's like very much, if you watch WKRP in Cincinnati, like Les Nessman with a beard, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but obviously he has issues with that. This has become a thing in his life where, like, he wants to be cool. He wants to be the cool dad. I mean, everybody wants to be cool, right? But this cat is just not. And it's almost like the only way he gets so excited when someone dreams about him. And even though it's not him, he's almost relevant in make-believe.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because he is sort of like this, he's like, what's the best way of describing it? Like, he's just sort of like unassuming, and people don't view him as a threat, or like, you know, he's just like, just there. Like, he's not attractive, he's not cool, he's not sexy, he's nothing. He's just a teacher. Like, that's kind of like how he's viewed, you know. And I think that he does get a little excitement out of like hearing people's dreams, because now he's someone, right? Like, he's living vicariously through other people's dreams about what he is doing in those dreams that he has no control over. So it's really interesting.
And you see the point where, like, his class, and he's, you know, he's doing those like the big like auditorium classrooms.
Yeah, the lecture.
Know,
Yeah, lecture.
What's that?
It's a lecture.
Lecture hall. And there's a handful of students, and there's two kids that are talking. He's like, oh, you know, he scolds them, and then as it comes out more, that there's this weird group think, or group, what do you want to call it? Group experience.
What do you call it? Yeah, Ant. He's Ant. I can't remember what it's called now.
But even before that, He goes to and once again, as milk toast and as we're talking about this character, he's got a PhD. He's a teacher. He's got a hot wife. He's got 2 kids that don't give a fuck about him, but kids don't do that at that age. You know what I mean? Like, he's still got some shit going on. But when he reunites with an ex-flame at a play, his ex-girlfriend, you know, and he almost gets excited that his wife is kind of jealous.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh no, I just want to meet her for coffee. And they're talking, and she's like, you know what? I don't think you should go by yourself. You know, because there's times we've seen where he tries to become like a tough guy, and he has this whole I'm jumping around a little bit, but he has his rehearsed speech where he talks to his colleague, and then all his rehearsed plans get shot down. Then sees the ex-girlfriend, thinking that maybe she digs him again, and really she only has ulterior motives. And the minute I thought was like, okay, if you want to use me, don't use my fucking name, is the first thing I would have thought.
Yeah, when she talks about writing about him.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like? I like the analogy that's used by him to his class about the zebra and how it blends in. And he's the zebra.
Yep.
He's the zebra, and he blends in with the rest of the crowd. And if you are trying to blend in someplace else and that you don't fit in, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And that's what happens to him when he finds out that he's invading everybody's dreams.
Right.
So I like the analogy that they use between him and the lesson that he's learning in his classes.
And if that's the real zebra gimmick, I had no idea about that.
It makes sense when you think about it. It must be, you know.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think these are all really good points, and you know, he is just sort of like there in the background. He's very, like, just to use the same term, like unassuming, and so when he does go, like, finger quotes, viral, it's just, oh, like, you know, oh yeah, like I see him too, like, you know, it's just sort of like kind of like this cute thing, you know, it's like, oh, like I see this very like normal looking guy and he's just there, and then he starts getting attention and doing press, and he's loving it, right? Like he's having people talk about their dreams, and especially that the marketing girl, what's her name? I want to say it was Molly.
Well, there's a very painful scene where, and just watch this movie and then come back to it. We're going to try our best. But when everyone shows up in the class, it's like, all right, we'll do 5 minutes about the dream thing.
Yeah.
And then as you hear all the common denominator, he's getting more and more like, oh, I'm just nothing. I'm just the watcher.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like reinforcing his own like ineptitude,
right,
or his own limpness.
That's a good way of putting it. He's realizing he's becoming self-aware of because of these dreams, he's becoming self-aware of what he is in real life, you know. And that's, as you guys said, like this, like this sort of passive, like unassuming milquetoast dude who really isn't a threat. He doesn't move the needle. Like, that's probably the best way to put it. Like, he doesn't move the needle anyway. You know, he's just there. He's a teacher. People are bored by him. There's nothing exciting or interesting really about him. So that's when people start dreaming about him. This like public, like consciousness is like dreaming about him. And now he's sort of interesting, even though he's still boring, you know? And so he keeps hearing these dreams, and he's you know, when I say getting off, I don't mean like sexually. He's just like, you know, like the sort of like the attention behind it, you know, it's sort of like a viral thing, right? Like, so if someone does go viral, you know, I imagine in someone in this situation, he's someone who has wanted attention, but was always a little bit too afraid to kind of like seek it, right? And like, for instance, like even one of the weird things to me was even when he was talking to his former colleague and he records their conversation and he goes back to listen to it. And then his wife even asks him, did you record the conversation like we talked about? And he's like, well, no, I didn't do, like, it's almost like he doesn't want to even admit that he did that. Like,
because,
well, I think it's only because he realizes how much of a, how much of a
pushover and
monotone and pushover and a monotone, very straight-laced and but boring person that he is. I think he realizes, wait a second, I really am this person, and I don't like it. I don't want to hear myself.
It's because he went there. It's like I'm going to go to my boss tomorrow and demand a raise.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So he has his pre-planned speech. And then in the first few minutes of the conversation, you can already tell him, like, he's already rushing the spots, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, she hasn't even taken her coat off yet. And he's like, he wants to get all his shit in the wrestling. He'll get all his moves in. And then she's not, it's like, no, it's actually, this is where I got the idea from. And no, you told me, but I'm doing this.
Right.
And then it culminates in him going, no, but please.
Yeah.
Please. So when he's
like groveling,
he's begging.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh. You just feel bad for the guy and you feel embarrassed for the guy.
Right. Yeah. And so I think when he starts getting more and so just to back up, I think some of the dreams become a little bit more visceral, like for instance, when he hears the marketing girl's dream about he essentially, it's a sex dream where he basically kind of forces himself on her and, she's really into it. And the whole thing about that is like the sort of like dream versus reality of things really is oh man,
really comes to play here.
Yeah. So
really turns its ugly head.
We got to talk about that scene. Like,
like you were saying, so like in Dream World, she's sitting on her couch all by herself in the dark. It's well lit, so you can see her. You can see the area around her. It's got a nice ambiance to it. But then they show this figure out in the shadows in the corner of
like in the room in the darkness, yeah.
And you could see it, but you're not sure if it's really there. Maybe part of the whole dream scenario is playing on us in this scene. I don't know, but next thing you know, she's like, hey, is somebody there? Is somebody there? And all of a sudden you see this figure move, and it's our boy, and he shows up, and he's just walking slowly over to the couch, not saying a word, and she's like, don't hurt me, and then he just takes her right there.
Yep. Puts the moves on. Well, it doesn't even put moves on. He just goes for it, right? Like
he just goes. Yeah, he just goes for it.
He puts her hands on her legs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Inching towards,
Yep.
And then kisses her neck, and then
with tongue. With
tongue.
Yeah,
you get the cage tongue action.
I think. Yeah,
Nicholas winding tongue.
I think everyone kind of knows where it goes from there. And so she wants to live this out in reality. She is like, this is like something that really does it for her, and she wants to live this out in reality. So she brings him over. Now, granted, he's married, and he's also said that he's not cool enough to cheat. Is that what he said? Like, he's like, oh, I'm not cool enough to do that.
I'm married.
And he makes some joke about like, oh, That's old. That's old. You wouldn't know this joke. Oh, I was born in '96. I'm like, oh shit. I'm too old for you. You know.
Well, and what I was referring to is what he told his wife. He said, she said, would you, have you done that? Have you cheated or would you? And he's like, no, I'm not cool enough to do that, like, or whatever. So, he's already sort of said that he wouldn't do that. But he's getting caught up in the power, the power that comes along with this. And so, they try to live out the reality of this dream. And imagine, I don't want to say everything because I mean, I do and I don't. I like imagine like the antithesis of how that dream went, and that's almost how it happened in reality.
Picture the two, maybe out of the three worst things that could happen when you're being intimate with someone for the first time. Two of them happen.
Wait,
one of them happened twice.
All right, hold on. Let's see if I can do this. This is the audio version of. Oh wait, hold on. I got to get one more sound effect. Hold on.
That's good. Watch the movie, and then come back and listen to the soundbite.
All right, let's see if I can do it. I have to click on 3 different things. Let's see if I can do it.
Fire the harpoon.
Where's the other one? Fuck. I fucked it up. I didn't have the other one loaded up. But let me try that one more time. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. All right. Let's see.
Fire the harpoon.
All right, pretty close, right?
That's close. You should have a
fire the harpoon. I could not believe that. When he fucking farted, I lost it. He's like, oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that.
It's like, all right, don't stop. Oh, your body's it's a weird thing. Shut up, keep going, shut up.
She's trying to keep the like, the fucking fantasy going.
And listen, the body's a weird fucking thing. You know what I mean? Shit happens sometimes.
Oh God.
And sometimes you just gotta play through it. You gotta play hurt. You know what I mean?
There is no rebounding from that. There just isn't, at least not for the next several hours.
That was one.
But you just feel bad for a brother. Like brother rating at a 1.
Yeah, right. This is probably the scene that sealed it for Cage to take the role. Who wants to bet?
This is the scene that sealed his fucking Oscar.
Yeah.
Wait, let me. I want to try this. I want to try this one more time because I don't know why it makes me laugh. All right, let me try one more time here. I think I can do it better.
Fire the harpoon.
Yes. I put each sound effect on a different monitor, and it just went from one to the other. Fire the harpoon.
I was watching that with Mary, and we were like, "Oh, fucking boy, oh God."
One of my favorite things is making MZ cry. I haven't done that so long.
Oh, it's so goddamn funny.
Remix.
All right, one more time for just for S's and G's.
Fire the harpoon.
Fire that food. Oh shit!
Holy shit!
He's gonna fucking break a rib. He's gonna pop a rib.
Oh, that's so funny. Jesus.
Oh.
There are moments in podcasting where we wish we had more people watching live.
Fearless performance. Fearless.
Let's see. Casual Noob had a bunch of things to say. Hold on. He says, to show an example of the range of Cage's career, he plays a character of a survivor in the video game Dead by Daylight as part of a downloadable content pack. And really? Nick Cage was in the Flesh movie. And he says, the analogy of the zebra to me seems more if the zebra leaves the herd and is by itself like fame makes you stand out, then you are in danger to predators on your own, meaning fame can be your downfall.
That's a smart motherfucker right there.
And then he said, it happened like the dream, and in real life, he came out of the darkness.
Yes, he did. That's very true.
He sure did.
Into a splooge.
He came into the darkness.
That's the Moscow Wild like wordplay right there.
Nicolas Cage came out of the darkness. He came out of the darkness with a brother rating of a 5.
Brother rating -1.
Yeah, brother rating negative fucking 43. Oh god, that scene! Holy shit, that's good.
And listen, a brother can get excited.
Well, given the situation that he was in, honestly, I mean, given the situation that he was in, this is probably at the height of his popularity with what's going on with him, you know. So it's understandable that what went down, you know.
He's getting a lot of.
The worst part after watching that, Marion's like, she's gonna tell all her friends, and I'm like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Ravenshaw's like, I'm gonna take fucking gas X every single time.
Oh no, I'm not always leaving the room smoking. I'll tell you that much.
God damn it.
By the way, that's a sound effect, everyone. None of us are actually gassy. I realize that people might not want to keep hearing that.
The body's a weird thing. You know, the body ain't necessarily a wonderland with that fucking song.
It's not a Willy's Wonderland.
It's not a Willy's Wonderland, but just from a first time experience. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bad first impression.
So after this, is there anything else about that scene you guys want to say before we move on?
I just felt bad for her brother. I just felt.
Well, he did the best thing he could after that. You know, it was the only thing he could do.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was at this point, it was a turning point for him because of not only was it the height of his popularity with this. I mean, here he is. He's with a hot girl about 20 years old, they said she was, or she said she was. And
she's 96, he's born 96.
And, all right, so she's like 25 years old, 26 or whatever.
Like that, yeah.
And he's at least twice her age. So, I mean, when are you going to get another chance like this? So
let's say he's
riding,
59.
Okay. Well, but he's riding high on the popularity that has been bestowed upon him for whatever reason that it has never been explained. But it's also the point that breaks him, because he's completely and totally embarrassed by what happened.
Right.
And he almost doesn't want to have anything to do with this thing ever again. And then the turning point starts. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's when the whole thing starts turning. Was after this.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, because that actually happened later in the movie than I remember. And so, yeah, it had to be right around that point.
Yeah. So with the embarrassment of what happened in her apartment, or is it the pinnacle of what he's able to achieve with this popularity that he has? Is that the breaking point that things start to weigh down on him? Or is it just pure coincidence?
I mean, I think that was probably indicative of where things were heading, but I think it was just generally things that sort of run their course. Because if you think about like a viral video or someone who goes viral, it eventually runs its course, right? And towards the end, yes, she was sort of holding on to this fantasy, even though like she shouldn't have been because of what happened. Like, you know, it was just kind of like, yeah, maybe I should just kind of let this go. But yeah, go ahead.
But then you got to wonder. I'm sorry, but you wonder like what was whatever the cultural thing that made Paul. I'm saying Paul Stanley, Paul Westerberg or whatnot. Paul
Matthews,
become this observer. Somehow we know with the assistant, it became more sexual.
Right.
Now,
well,
he
started also like he did sort of break his values, right? If earlier, if what he said was accurate and he was being truthful, that's not something he wanted to do, you know. But he got caught up in the pull of it, of the power, you know.
So maybe his embracing this power, if you will,
that probably
led
was
to the more physical,
the Charles Durning point, if you will.
Yeah, the Charles Durning point, the more gratification, and then with his, failing or whatnot, then your cage rage becomes the thing. Then the dream becomes like he's mad.
Yeah.
And that's infecting everybody's dreams.
Yeah, because he I think at that point, he's no longer getting the satisfaction that he did originally. And I think he also kind of realizes who he was like in real life. Like this is sort of brought about this awakening or this self realization of who he is, and he doesn't like who he is. And he likes this sort of the pull of this power that he has over people. But also it starts to go wrong. Like it's going in ways that he can't necessarily control anymore. And that's when it starts to get a little bit more, I don't know if dangerous is the right word, but like it just gets out of control for him, you know? And at that point, that's when the dreams start changing. The dreams people are having start changing. And, I won't say too much about how they change, but he goes from being sort of a passive, like passerby to a more active participant in their dreams. And that rightfully, has people sort of turn against him, even though he can't control it. Like that's what he's saying is like, I can't control this. It's not something I can do. I'm not doing this. But people, it sort of takes on a life of its own. It just becomes its own thing.
There is a slight explanation as to why this is happening. We're not going to get into it, but there is a slight explanation as to why.
Yeah, you're right, and you're tying it into something later in the film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
It's mentioned, but it's never really fully,
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that he desires to be noticed, right? Would you say?
Oh, sure.
That's accurate to what you're saying.
He said himself that he's not an outgoing person by choice.
Right.
But but I think it was like when he realizes that when he got a taste of the outgoing lifestyle that this I don't know what the hell
newfound fame, I guess, sort of.
Yeah, has been thrust upon him that he has no choice but to accept it. He's gotten a taste for it. And then when things start getting a little loopy, he still desires that craving, but only to try to explain himself. And like I said, there is a moment where there is an explanation mentioned.
Yeah.
But it's never really delved into. It's kind of just like thrown out there as like a possibility.
Yeah. And that's when things start to turn for him, I don't want to. Is Raven Shadow dying?
Shadow dying?
Jesus.
I think cigarettes have finally caught up with him.
I don't know if that doctor should have given him a clean bill of health. Jeez.
Yeah. He sounds worse now than he did before.
Yeah. So where was I going? So when stuff starts to go kind of south for him, and I don't want to say too much about that because I want that to play out for people who haven't seen this, but I think that at that point, this is sort of like the whole cancel culture aspect of things, when a lot of times, and I'm not going to say that that this is the case with every single sort of like instance of cancel culture. Cancel culture has some issues with it. It is not. We could get into a whole thing. I have some thoughts I want to kind of talk about a little bit, but I want to hold off. I want to wait until we kind of talk about some other stuff here first. But at that point, it's no longer in his control. Like, things are just kind of moving. And at that point, he has lost control of this, and people are starting to turn against him from something that was at first like sort of a novelty, kind of a cool little fun thing that people got a kick out of, to now he is being a creep. He's not, this is not what I wanted, this is invasive. So at that point, people start turning on him, and people spray paint his car, and some people film him going crazy, yelling because they spray painted his car. And this is sort of begins the downward spiral. And with that, it's interesting to see the way that things unfold, because yes, you could say that he's responsible, but he's not, right? It's that sort of like thin line of like, is he responsible for this or is he not? And that sort of goes to the whole idea of cancel culture, because I'm just going to use a couple examples here. I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong necessarily, but let's take, for instance, I even forget her name now. She played Cara Dune in Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, what's her name?
Oh, my goodness.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot her name.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now, so I'll have it in just a moment.
Hey, Cara, how you doing?
Yeah, it's funny. She's not even on the first page anymore of Mandalorian.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, hold on. I think she's in this episode. Gina Carano. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gina Carano. You know what? At this point, and this is kind of the thing about cancel culture, is I don't even remember what she said. I think she said, and I don't want to look it up. I just don't want to even look it up. I think it was something to do with trans people, or something along those lines. And she had some very unsavory things to say, and when you work for a big corporation like Disney, you kind of can't say shit like that, And so she did, and she kind of doubled down on it. And so they were like, all right, well, we're not bringing you back. Cardoon is going away. And now she's working with that fucking piece of shit Ben Shapiro to do fucking movies, and that dude's a piece of work.
He's a fucking...
He's a piece of shit. He's a dipshit.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. And so... Yeah, so that's
it's
that.
Like Kevin Sorbo and fucking
Yeah, she lost her job working for Disney. She was in The Mandalorian, huge fucking property. Potentially could have been played that character in films and whatever. She was gonna get her own series, from what I understand. Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah,
to fuck that up. So I mean, is that worth it? I don't know. Maybe she feels she's being true to her values, as warped and fucked as they are. And if that's worth it, then that's fine. I mean, that's up to her. That's for her to decide. But on the flip side, you have someone like James Gunn, right? James Gunn, when he worked for Troma back in the mid-aughts, I think mid-2000s, like late, like 2005 to 2009, somewhere around there. He was saying some outrageous stuff on Twitter because he was trying to build a brand of being an outrageous person, and he had some things to say that he regrets, and some things that were just flat out wrong, right? Like, we have said stuff on this show years ago that we all probably would not say now and regret saying. I know for a fact we just to kind of talk about this, we had the CryptoCast, our video podcast. There was some stuff on there that was a little questionable. We took the whole series down because, I just don't want something out of context to represent who we are, and it wasn't any one person. It was just some stuff that just was, like, in hindsight, I wouldn't say that now, or we wouldn't say that. But at the time, it was very much in line with, the way the internet was sort of functioning, So, I mean, I don't think any of us said anything too horrible that would be, like, held against us. But it's stuff that maybe was questionable language or something like that. So, that's kind of the James Gunn situation. He said some outrageous things about, like, pedophilia or something like that because.
Well, it was a joke, though.
Well, I'm gonna get there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like James Gunn, and I like the way he handled it. So I like, and also the thing that connects this is it was Disney as well that fired him. So we're talking about the same company. He had done Guardians 1 and 2, I think, and then all the stuff came out where right-wing people were pulling up his tweets from the early 2000s and then posting them. And Disney had no choice but to basically let him go because of how they had to keep a standard, right? Like we did this for this person, we have to do it for him. So you're gone. And yes, so Raven Chow, if you want to go ahead, like say like he was making jokes because he was trying to build a brand of being outrageous and funny and silly. So it wasn't a belief. It wasn't something he believed in. It was something he was just trying to be outrageous. And at the time, it was not frowned upon. I'm not saying it was acceptable, but it wasn't, as like seen as horrifying as it would be now. Is that fair? Is there anything that you want to add to that, Raven Shadow?
No, 100% true. And I think overall, I always find it funny when it's like fill-in comedian said this, that's outrageous. People didn't like it. Well, I think the key thing is comedian, right? And I'm still a firm believer that comedy is taking the dark side, making it funny. Do all things work like they did back in the day? No. There are some very cringeworthy Sam Kinison bits that don't work nowadays. There are titles of Eddie Murphy cassettes that wouldn't play nowadays.
Right.
And you know what? Nor should they.
Right. And I mean, Dice, right?
Right. But that's the
Hickory dickory dock. Like,
but that's also the comedy of it. And I don't think comedians should be held in the same standard as, say, politicians.
well, I mean, that's a slippery slope because how do you determine, oh, well, they're like, because Al Franken was a politician and he's a comedian.
Well, but jokes didn't get him in trouble. A
Right.
physical act got him in trouble.
Right. Which apparently was not even nearly as what people were saying it was. But that's beside the point.
Right. But I still think I just don't think that a comedian should be held in the same regard as, say,
Sure, but then you
legitimate.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
the
want
thing about
Patch
that
Abrams
is
to be my doctor.
Sure. The thing about that is, though, if you make rules around that, people will take advantage of those rules and say, "Oh, well, I'm a comedian," or whatever, So it can't be a double standard. It has to be. That's the way it is for society.
Well, fair. But also, there's a level of sticks and stones too, where like it's okay for you not to agree with somebody. You know what I mean? Like, there's things you could say where, well, that's all right. Well, that's fucked up. But then there are things you could really say, like, oh, that's really fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
is a difference between trying to be outrageous, like Toxic Avenger isn't real.
Whoa,
Dice is dirt.
whoa. What?
It sucks. I know.
You just fucking
Yeah,
that's like saying Santa isn't real to MZ.
Not cool, dude.
Yeah, you fucked him up.
Sorry, bro.
So yeah, I don't want to harp on this too much, but so James Gunn said some shit he shouldn't have said. He apologized. He came out and said, you know what? Like, I was just trying to be outrageous. I was trying to build a brand of someone who was working for Troma and making gross out films, and I was owning that, and I was trying to be that person. I'm not that person now, and it's that's not who I am. And he came out. I liked the way he approached it, and I have no problem with that. I think the thing nowadays is, and I actually had a conversation with Tanya about this, like cancel culture is almost like an immediate thing now. It's like if someone says or does something, in their lifetime, no matter what, like whether it was acceptable or not at that time, they are now judge, jury, executioner. You are fucked. You're an asshole. You don't deserve to fucking breathe air. And they want to like dox you. They want to fucking like out you, and they want to like bury you, and that's kind of bullshit because you need to have, I don't know, like I feel I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I don't want to get into too much more. If people are assholes, they should be called assholes and whatever. Like no one should be doxxed. I don't know if you guys know what dox is, but basically having all your information put out onto the internet, your phone number, your address, your medical records, like, whatever, all these things, that is fucked up. Like that should not happen to anybody.
And that's fucking wrong. So didn't like fucking Siskel or Ebert did something like that to like a horror movie chick, like back in the day? Didn't they do?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be the same. I don't know if MZ remembers.
I do know that was. I'm trying to think of who it was.
I'll look and see if I can find something.
I want to say it was,
overall,
but I'm not sure. I want to say it was Camille Keaton, but I'm not sure.
So, here we go. Okay, so I just found it. Gene Siskel hated the original Friday the 13th so much that he not only spoiled the film's ending in his review, but published the addresses of both the head of Paramount and Betsy Palmer so people could write hate mail to them.
That's who it was, yeah.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
And
fucked
that
up.
was
Yeah.
without-
That's a good memory, Rafe. Shout. I didn't remember that. So I mean, it's just one of those things that I don't know. Like, we are all fucking humans. We have all made mistakes in our lives. Every single fucking one of us has made a mistake, and it should not dictate how the rest of our lives are lived based on a single mistake or multiple mistakes or whatever. And that's where I have the problem. Like, if you double down on it, like Gina Carano, and you keep saying, yeah, no, I believe this, like whatever, like, then okay, you deserve whatever the fuck you get coming to you. You know, I'm not saying that you deserve to be doxxed and, you know, and like canceled or whatever, but if you lose your job, you know what? You fucking double down on it. You could have shut up. And, you know, but you double down on it and you lost your job. I you know, I'm not sorry. Like, I can't feel sorry for you in that case. But in a situation like James Gunn, where he said something 10, 12 years ago or whatever, and then came out, apologized, and explained why he did that, you know what? I'm okay with that. And that's why he got his job back. And he did Guardians 3. And then DC hired him to run the fucking, you know, DC Comics film department.
Actually, I mean, to be fair, though, he was like, all right, you know what?
Oh, he did Suicide
go
Squad
work for
first.
DC
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
And then all his crew were like, you know what?
Yep.
We side with you. And even Batista was like,
yeah,
I will do Guardians 3 because I'm contractually obligated.
Yep.
And then it reinforced that the only thing that Disney cares about, or truly anybody cares about, is the color green.
Yep. Because
those movies made money.
Oh, yeah. So, all right,
when Gunn came back, they were like, oh, they gave you notes? Like, yeah, they gave me notes. I didn't use them.
So let's, we could keep going on it, and I want to wrap up the film discussion. It's just one of those things that, in this case, it's a really interesting sort of presentation of how it happens. And now, granted, did you know, the character of Paul Matthews handle this perfectly? No. Like, he made some mistakes, but that's, you know, like, you feel like you're being attacked from every front, and sometimes you just fucking lash out, right? And I can understand that. But, you know, I feel like he was so caught up in everything that happened and was missing the good that came from this viral stuff, that when it went away, he was trying to get it back. He wasn't trying to go back to who he was. He was trying to get that sort of viral fame back, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's where that kind of went wrong for him. Like, he should have just kind of been like, you know what? All right, well, I'm a fucking nobody again, like, and just accept it. You know, but he kind of fought back and doubled down on it a little bit, you know?
But I think too, he just wanted to, he felt that he was special, and it's hard to not understand somebody wanting to be unique.
Sure, especially if you weren't unique before, you know, and you felt there was like, you know, you had like a hole in your life, and then all of a sudden it was filled, and then it's taken away, you know?
Yeah, he just blended into the background, you know, and then all of a sudden this thing popped up, and he became somebody. It's just like the zebra allegory, you know, that he presented early on in the film. He's the zebra.
But there was an amazing, touching scene with him in bed with his wife. He's like, "Oh, do I invade your dreams? What would you want?"
Yeah, yeah.
And she gives this example of what it was. He's like, "Oh, that's it."
Yeah, it was
like,
a fucking like David Byrne Talking Heads outfit, and
yeah.
That was awesome. I love that scene.
Yeah, that's great.
But that moment was like, okay, that's why she's with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she was super hot. You know, they're both real people, but they were I liked her.
Yeah.
And she seemed into him. She was really fucking supportive.
Yeah.
Until it was like, yo,
there's
enough's enough.
Yeah, exactly. There's a sort of a cap on that, right? Like there's a limit, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And they definitely reached that limit.
Oh yeah, and she gave a lot of fucking wiggle room.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to mention about this?
I think we're done.
So we didn't talk too much about, I want to just, before we go to the verdict, there was a little bit of horror in this, and that came through in some of the dreams. And then also kind of towards the end, there's some stuff with Paul that, bordered on horror. I think also bordering on horror was the living conditions he had at Tim Meadows' place when he stayed with him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was pretty
can we
ridiculous.
talk about Tim Meadows for a minute?
Sure.
God damn, he looked good.
Not that old.
Oh, you haven't seen he was in The Mandalorian, in the latest season of The Mandalorian, so he looked the same. So to me,
Was he?
yeah.
I haven't seen part 3 yet, season 3 yet.
Well, you go see it then.
Is he really in it?
Yeah.
Tim Meadows is in fucking Star Wars.
Yep.
So theoretically, I could have a fucking Bill Burr action figure.
You could, yeah.
I could have a
yeah.
fucking. Who's MC's favorite? I want to see the baby. Who's he?
Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
So I have a Werner Herzog figure, and I can have a fucking Ladies Man Star Wars Black Series figure.
I don't know if they have the figure, but I mean, conceivably, yes.
Well, first of all, it's Star Wars, so he'll get a fucking figure.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, right?
But no, Tim Meadows was dope in this movie, dude. He looked good. Like the beard. Great beard gimmick he had going on.
It's funny. I'm looking for. I don't see him listed under.
He's like, oh yeah, sorry about that funny smell. We can put some.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Mandalorian season 3. Yeah, he was in one episode. Colonel Tuttle. I think he was. Was he in another? I don't remember if he was in one of the other series. I can't remember now. But yeah,
It's like 2 Death Stars in the back of your dress.
So yeah, Tim Meadows. All right.
The ladies Mandalorian.
Yeah,
boy. That's a Star Wars show that MZ would watch. That's the only one he would watch.
Yeah.
All right. I think
Picture a big ass afro sticking out of the Mandalorian helmet.
And Casual Noob, I think this is when we were talking about the fantasy scene. He says, I've never laughed so hard. All right, I think we can do the verdict on this one. So let's go ahead and do that.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Dream Scenario was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. Let's start with Monster Zero.
Yeah, this was a treat. It's definitely not a horror film. It has a couple horror elements to it, but it's definitely not a horror film.
I would say a genre film. I mean, it's hard to classify it, but it's not horror.
Yeah, it's definitely a genre film, not a horror film. I was slightly disappointed in that. But what this movie does do is that it shows Nicolas Cage's range, and that actually he's able to put that all into this film. It's a very good performance by him. You see, a simple man who pretty much blends into the background of be bestowed upon him the power of being able to be seen in everybody else's dreams. I was waiting for the Freddy Krueger reference, and they do mention it one time. I'm glad they didn't harp on that. Harp on that, because they very easily could have.
I liked at the end when he did that photo shoot when he had the
Oh
glove.
yes, yes, that's right too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. The photo shoot. Yeah, that was a pretty badass looking glove.
It
too,
was.
I gotta say.
Oh,
that-
when the fucking thing came down from the fucking roof, though, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, the light or whatever. Is that? Yeah.
And yeah, this is good, and it's all This is a guy who's just trying to live his life, and he becomes a viral sensation, and he's trying to deal with it in the best way he can, and it doesn't go very well for him. We see the film. The film is totally told through his point of view, so we can sympathize with him. We can laugh with him. We can celebrate with him, and we can also fear him. So, and to accept what happens in the second film is to accept what happens at the very beginning of the film. So if you have a problem with the second half, you're going to have a problem with the first half. And so you're going to either love it or you're going to hate it. And me, I liked it. I thought this was a good movie. This is a treat.
All right, Michael Ramchado.
I would put this performance of Nicolas Cage almost akin to Adam Sandler in like Punch Drunk Love, where you get that very character that you feel bad for, but then you get mad at times. I think it was a different kind of horror movie. I think the themes of cancel culture, fame, and definitely advertising, and the next generation of advertising that does not seem too far away. This kind of advertising, Soylent Green, are getting closer and closer to becoming fucking real life shit. And good for Nicky Cage, man. I love this take. This movie's fucked up. I did enjoy it. It's not fun, but if you're a fan of this new era of Cage, I think this will surprise you. You won't have fun, but I think you will enjoy this, and it's a treat for sure.
All right. So for me, yeah, I'm going to say this is definitely a treat. I enjoyed this movie, and I think it was a challenging watch. And I don't. What was that?
I don't know.
I think it was something on your phone, Raven Shadow.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Look at you, fucking guilty.
Look at
yeah, I saw something flash on your fucking glasses. Yeah. All right. Well, you're extending this farther than needs to. You could have just said, "Sorry, that was me." Yeah. That would have been it. So, this was good. It was an interesting performance from Nicolas Cage, very different than we're used to with him. But I think in a way that works really well, especially given some of the dreams that he's portrayed in. So, and it really I think it presents a topic that should be discussed more in a way that is not like allegorical, I guess is the best way to put it. It's not cut and dry like, oh, well, this person said something fucking terrible and now they're being canceled. It really is done in a fantastical way, which makes for an interesting allegory for cancel culture. Yeah. So, it's something to think about for people. We shouldn't be so quick to jump down people's throats for making a mistake. Now, if they're an asshole and then they double down on being an asshole and don't accept accountability, that's different. But if someone's like, oh my God, I fucked up, I am so sorry, like, or if it was something in the past, that's not who I am now. I said something to be outrageous. I did something that was more accepted in the time and now it's not, and I would never say that now. you really have to have a filter for these sorts of things and not just jump down someone's fucking throat. So I don't know. I think because of this movie, I think it's interesting. It brings up an interesting topic that does require more conversation. And I will say that the director, I had never seen anything from him previously, but I think it's a really interesting piece of work. And in looking at Christopher Borgly's other works, he did mostly shorts, but he has one film called Sick of Myself, which has an interesting premise. And it says, increasingly overshadowed by her boyfriend's recent rise to fame as a contemporary artist creating sculptures from stolen furniture, Signe hatches a vicious plan to reclaim her rightfully deserved attention within the milieu of Oslo's cultural elite. So, seems like it kind of deals with similar topics, right? What was his other film? Let me take a look here. It was called Drib. And the synopsis for Drib is the inside story of an energy drink marketing ploy gone wrong. So he certainly deals with topics that are very present in our society now. So I feel like if he continues to kind of push that, I feel like we could get some very interesting films from him. I'd be curious to check out those films because this one I thought was really well done. And I did like this. This is a treat, and it's one that I will want to watch again because I feel you can probably glean some other stuff from this upon a second watch. So, yeah. So, treat for me. Treats all around. How about that? We'll kick off 2024 with 3 treats.
Yep.
All right. So, next week, let me talk about what we're doing next week. We will be joined by our good buddy, Arkham Josh. It has been a little bit since we've had Arkham Josh on. Looking forward to getting him back on. And Josh will be joining us to talk about the latest film from Emerald Fennell, the director of Promising Young Woman. It is her latest film called Saltburn. And this one should be interesting. I've seen some chatter about this one. It is a comedy drama thriller, so I would say it's in the genre sort of, I guess the subgenre known as genre films. I don't know how else to say that. But yeah, so this one should be pretty interesting. Saltburn, the latest film from Emerald Fennell. Raven Show, you just got back. Director of Promising Young Woman.
Oh shit! I saw that on interwebs today. Someone saw Saltburn.
Yeah, a lot of people have seen it right now.
Yep. Yeah, just hit VOD. It was in theaters for a little while, and it stars. I never know how to say his name. Barry Keoghan or Keoghan? Keoghan? Keoghan. I think it's Barry Keoghan. And he was in A Killing of a Sacred Lamb, and he was also Raven Shadow, the Joker in
Gotham?
In Batman Begins. Or I'm sorry, not Batman Begins, The Batman.
Oh, okay.
But he was cut, and then he was shown as an unseen Arkham prisoner, but he does have a deleted scene where he's the Joker.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
But he's good. He was also in The Green Knight. We saw him. He was the Scavenger, and he's been in a few other things. But I so far, what I've seen, I dig him. So Barry Keoghan, and I think of some other folks you'll probably recognize, but I'll leave that for next week. So we'll be doing Saltburn. It is available on VOD. Actually, it might be just streaming on Prime Video, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's included with Prime. So if you guys have Prime, it is there, so you can check out Saltburn that way. All right, so we'll be joined by Arkham Josh to talk about Saltburn. Now, we got a voice message and a video, so let's get to those so we can wrap shit up. But now we're going to hear from our boy, Casual Noob Saibot, with his thoughts on this week's film. So let's check out and play.
Okay, these are my thoughts on Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage. So, Nicolas Cage, or whoever reads his scripts and tells him, Nicholas, you should do this movie, that is out of your wheelhouse. Whoever is deciding to have Nicolas Cage act in the slew of movies that Nicolas Cage has been making should get a raise, because, spoiler alert, I found this to be an absolute treat of a movie, along with a lot of the other movies that this man has been making the last couple of years. Okay, so you open up to Nicolas Cage's dream persona that kind of mirrors his demeanor in his life as of now. Boring, uninspiring, not a hero. Although when the daughter describes him in her dream, he brings up what seems like the one time he rose to the occasion to save her life, which this character seems like everyone's dad. At one point, a long time ago, they were adventurous, but now they are bland and defeated. Just the way Nicolas Cage plays this character was a complete transformation compared to previous roles. Also, the way you see the flip of people's reception to Nicolas Cage being a part of their dreams, not going to say what happens that I feel triggers the flip, but, watch the movie to see that. This is a true social commentary on fame and cancel culture that I'm sure a lot of celebrities and actors are well versed in the pros and cons. So this probably wasn't too much of a stretch for him to kind of do the research on this role, since a lot of celebrities are, dealing with this kind of stuff in their careers, with the positive and negative aspects of fame, and the real danger of cancel culture when it can go too far and doesn't take into account what's really happening. And then also, Nicolas Cage in the movie, little into it, he basically does like an explanation of why everything is happening the way it's happening, and then he goes through what the people are going through, and he does an apology video to apologize for what's going on, and people perceive this video as being self-serving because he basically doesn't get the fact of what people are really going through. He's just, instead of apologizing to them for what's going on with them, he's kind of making it about him. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said earlier in this, this was a big treat for me. So, yeah, let's start out the new year right.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys. This is Casual Noob Saibot signing out.
All right, Casual Noob. Appreciate the words and glad you dug the flick. And yeah, it's definitely a interesting one for discussion. So appreciate your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. We got one more. Let me just pull it up here. All right, so we're going to hear from our boy, Evil Corny. By the way, people seem to like this brother rating thing, Raven Shadow. So, I'm just going to fucking lean into it. But Casual Noob Saibot, brother rating.
Oh, Video brother rating out of 10.
All right. Does everyone get a 10?
Yep.
Will you be honest if someone's not a 10?
Oh yeah, I'll call them like I sees them.
Okay, cool. Because I, just want to make sure it's not going to be like your doctor,
Yeah, no, I'll tell the truth to the fucking our friends and Patreon supporters, because they ain't gonna fucking add to my fucking chart and fucking fuck up shit down the line.
It's true. All right, well, let's hear from our boy Evil Carney.
Hey guys, I'm going to give Dream Scenario a treat. Really enjoyed the film. I thought that it was very heartbreaking, but like I said, I enjoyed it a lot. Kind of wish I would have saw this in the theaters, but like I said, I'm giving this a treat. Hope everyone's having a good New Year so far. Evil Corny out. What up, Raven Shadow?
Oh,
I think he's trying to get some brother points there.
such a shout out, brother.
What, does he get extra credit brother points?
Brother rating at 10.1.
Wow. 10.1 on the Richter scale, on the Wendy Richter scale.
Oh, man. On the Andy Richter scale.
The Andy Richter scale. Oh, shit. All right. So I think that's it for oh, wait. I think we have one more voice message. Let me see. Let me see here.
Fire the harpoon.
All right, that's it for voice messages.
Douche chills.
Oh shit! Fire the harpoon. I'm never gonna hear Richard Dreyfuss the same ever again. You've ruined him, MZ. You've ruined him.
I had to pass the news, man. I had to pass the news. It was obvious.
God. All right. Anything else? You guys have anything else you want to toss out there?
Nope.
I wonder if anyone's going to dream about us tonight. If anyone dreams about us, let us know. Send us a voice message.
Yeah. And we're sorry if you do.
Yeah, we're really sorry. Hopefully it's not anything like the that sex dream or some of the others that are in there.
Yeah, maybe we get like a sandwich.
Sandwich? What is a sandwich?
A sandwich.
Is that like a sand wedge, but you can eat it?
Or a sandwich.
All right.
It's a witch that pops out of the sand.
Oh, no. I got to play this one more time before I close this out.
Gong bong, gong bong, gong bong.
Gongabong. What does the Gongabong guy get for brother rating?
I don't know French. Marion. What's French for 10?
Lay 10.
Lay 10. Lay 10.
Brother rating, lay 10.
Lay 10. All right. Well, I was going to do it. So let's wrap this shit up and say goodbye. We're trending a little bit better. It's 11:19 MZ. I know it's a little later, but we'll get back on track here for non-December shows. But yeah, I'll say what I got to say after. Let's say goodbye. MZ, go ahead.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Wolfenstein, yes. All right, so yeah, that's going to do it. We appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out with us, a bunch of fucking idiots in 2024. But you know what? Hopefully we're your favorite idiots. Maybe not. Anyways.
Yeah, we're not the idiots you want, but we're the idiots you deserve.
We're the idiots you have. You got.
You have.
You have no choice. But that's it. So next week, we're going to be back with episode 598. We're getting closer to 600. And Josh, Arkham Josh, is going to join us to talk about Emerald Fennell's new film, Saltburn. So check that out. Come back. Let us know what you think. Podcast at trickortreatradio.com. whether it's this movie, whether it's next week's movie, whether it's any film we did in 2023, 2022, 2021, so on and so forth, back in time, fucking 88 miles per hour. Do what you got to do. Check out all those movies. Let us know what you think. And yeah, next week should be a good time. Arkham Josh. So hopefully you guys come back and join us, and hopefully you guys have a good week and a safe start to your new year. We'll see you guys then.